Listen closely to this mix. We have a high-pitched soul vocal cutting through, boom-bap drums driving the rhythm, and heavy jazz horns filling the background. This specific combination of elements is exactly what our client, a jazz connoisseur who goes by the high school nickname Simmi Samma, requested for his latest project. He wants the foundation built from very specific golden era influences: the drum bounce of A Tribe Called Quest, the horns from Queen Latifah's UNITI, and the dense atmospheric textures found in Fugees or Souls of Mischief records. The main technical challenge in executing this blueprint is the vocal arrangement. We need to smoothly blend a pitched-up Kanye-style vocal chop with a standard-pitched chorus, all playing at the exact same time. Hitting these requirements means we have to actively engineer acoustic space within a very crowded, jazzy mix so that a lyricist still has room to dominate the track. We'll start inside the DAW by programming a rigid, Illmatic-style drum foundation. We pull in gritty boom-bap drum hits, layering our kick and snare samples to match the heavy texture Tribe Called Quest used on Keep It Rolling. This piano roll shows how we achieve swing. Instead of leaving hi-hats locked onto rigid grid lines, we manually drag them slightly right. The fastest way to ruin this groove is by over-quantizing. Snapping every note flawlessly to the grid destroys the human feel. Solo the drum loop and listen back. You want to ensure the rhythm sounds bouncy and slightly imprecise. That purposeful imperfection in the timing is exactly what creates the recognizable rhythmic pocket of golden-era hip-hop. With the drums set, we introduce our melodies, combining a prominent Queen Latifah-style jazz horn with lighter, breezy background textures. We select a rich, dense horn sample to secure the heavy Fugees-style atmosphere the client requested. This parametric EQ interface shows how we carve out room for that sample. We apply a steep high-pass filter that aggressively cuts off all low frequencies from the horns. We clear this space so the heavy horns don't mask our kick drum and bass line. Using aggressive subtractive EQ on dense jazz samples allows us to keep the rich atmosphere intact without turning the track's rhythmic center to mud. Next, we build the chorus, which requires both a high-pitched soul chop and a normal-pitched vocal running simultaneously. We take a female soul vocal sample, load it into a pitch-shifting plugin, and raise the pitch exactly 12 semitones to hit that classic Kanye West effect. Always check your time stretch algorithm settings here to guarantee the pitched vocal still locks into the project's BPM without introducing digital audio artifacts. Then we bring in the secondary chorus track, a normal, unpitched vocal recording, and lay it directly underneath the soul chop. This animated graphic shows how we resolve the immediate frequency clash between the two parts by panning them into completely different sides of the stereo field. If you want to successfully layer contrasting vocals, you have to force them into dedicated, non-competing spaces within the stereo spectrum. Now we shift from building individual loops to structuring the full timeline, preparing the canvas for a top-tier lyricist. To do this, we create what are called pockets, stripped-down sections of the beat designed explicitly so the rapper can perform without fighting melodic distractions. This DAW timeline shows the structural math we need. We organize these pockets into blocks of at least 8 continuous bars, marked here in yellow. To carve out these sections, we mute the heavy horns and the pitched vocals entirely, leaving only the rhythm section and light background textures active during the 8-bar blocks. A producer's job isn't done just because the timeline is full of sound. The track is finished when you have the discipline to mute elements and make the rapper the focal point. Let's review the final arrangement to confirm we hit all the criteria in the Simmi Samma blueprint. Listen and notice how the heavy, vocal-dense chorus drops perfectly into the stripped-down 8-bar boom-bap first pocket. We use tribe-style unquantized drums, heavily EQ'd Latifah-style horns, carefully panned dual vocals, and strictly structured lyrical pockets. Recreating the golden era sound requires you to build a massively rich acoustic foundation, only to have the restraint to pull it all back so the vocal performance can lead.